Welcome to this Warpath YouTube video where today we're going to be doing a unboxing, review and put together of the Mantic Games Asterian Chira transporter and Chroma Force platform for Warpath and Firefight, and I guess you could use it as scenery in Deadzone as well. So this is how it comes. You actually get the two different types here, or three different types really. You can either build it as the one on the picture here, which is the Chroma Force platform with one of two different types of weapons, or you can build it as an alternative, which is a troop transporter called the Chira. And you can see on the back here there's two options. So again, we've got the firing version, the Chroma Force platform, and then down here we've got the transporter, the Chira. And there are a couple of weapon options as well. So let's have a little look inside. So in the box you get a cardboard box, and then you get two bags of bits and a flying base. So the flying base is a slightly unusual shape. We'll come across that later on, because this flyer isn't so much a flyer, it's more of a hoverer. And then we get two bags, one which is mainly the weapons, a smaller bag, and then the other which is the main part of the flyer. So let's look at the main part of the flyer first. So this is everything you get in one of the bags. This is everything you need to build the Chira transporter version, except for one thing, which is this. There are two of these, which if you remember from the front, sort of stick up vertically off of each of the wings. For some reason they're in the other bag, but it doesn't matter, you get both bags in there as well. It's also worth bearing in mind that there's very good mould lines on these, very little cleaning up to do. There's a couple of little bits, particularly on these ridges here, for where those bits I just showed you are going to go. You just do tidy up them, but they're about the only bits really. It is also worth noting there are some different types of plastic here. So you get your hard plastic for most of the vehicles, but there are a couple of soft PVC type plastic bits as well. So this one, which is one of the front cones, and there's a couple of bits with the weapon platforms, and you'll see that in a second as well, with the other one, another bit here. I don't think that makes any difference. There may be someone who feels it does, I'm not sure, but it seems to be fine from my point of view. So, how to build the Chira transporter. So, these are the side bits. This is where I said you must have these first, because you have these two side sort of sponsons, as it were. You've got to put one of these in the little grooves here. You can see they fit in quite nicely. I don't think there's a particularly right and left one. There is actually, I hadn't noticed that. So there is a right and left one. Make sure you've had the right one in, I guess. And then we have to put the side on. So you can see these fit together very nicely. Just going to go straight on there. I haven't tidied these up, they've literally come straight out of the bag, but apart from a tiny bit of flash there, there's not really anything. You can just push these together. You can see just by pushing it, it's really quite sturdy. It's just a little bit of wobble there, but you would glue that in obviously anyway. So, we then have the front piece, sort of like the engine part, and that again should just push onto here, he says optimistically. Possibly because I've got the wrong one. Yes, there we go. Ha ha ha. So if you pick the right one, it goes on dead easily. And that is, well, about a third of the ship built already. Now there is a slightly odd thing on the transporter one. These are meant in the art to hold marionettes on, so you have to find the right one of these sort of marionette grippers and stick the, there's 5 on each side, so they are slightly different. So I'm trying to find one that's correct for this side. There's one that's correct for this side, and so you can just push them in, obviously glue them in, and they're meant to grip a marionette that would then sort of deploy out of there. I mean, I'll put a few in. They're bound to fall out as I do this, but you can see that they are quite straightforward and they look quite nice. to give it something different. I might not do all of them because I'll lose the will. I seem to have lost one somewhere as I was getting them out of the bag. So yeah. So anyway, you can see how they go on that side, and the other side is exactly the same, of course. So what I'll show you now is how to put together the canopy. So this is the underside actually. You can see there are, I'll just mention this here now, there are 3 little dots here. You get 3 tiny little bits. Each of those needs to be glued on to these areas for some purpose, not sure why. But they look quite nice when they're on it. If you forgot them, it wouldn't be a big issue. You can see here though, this little cross, this is where the flying stand will come into play. So what we are going to build for the transporter one is we have to put this front piece on. So before we do that though, we should put in the very front. So this is like a vision slots or something like that. I'm not quite sure quite what it meant to be. It looks a bit like as if there's someone either flying it, or it could be with the Asterians. There's a lot of remote flying stuff. So you can see there's like a housing on there. This probably needs the most cleaning up of all of them, this PVC type piece here. We then, and that's pretty much it for that, and then you just put this other piece on top. You can see that there's nice lugs here and holes, so that'll go on quite nicely, and just pushing it on, and that's it. Quite a nice looking piece of kit. I do find really nice models like this brilliant, but I find it quite intimidating both to put together and also to paint, so we'll see how the painting goes. But actually putting together is dead easy, much easier than I would have thought. Now you'll see that there is a odd bit here at the back. This is where it changes between the 2 different types of flyer you can build. So for the Chira, the transport one, it only has a small gun, so you push on this again PVC part here, and then you have a gun mount for effectively some no cannons or no rifles, whatever they are, which you push on here. And again, I've just pushed those on, but you would glue them on, they go on fine, and that forms that sort of central part. So I'll just quickly put together the other wing, and then you can see how it looks. And then these wings, just see how quick that was to push that wing together. These wings just go on like that. And that is your Chira transporter. Pretty good, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take that apart again, and then we'll show you the different version with the Chroma Force platform. So here we are again. You can see we've got the parts for the wings as we had before in the central piece. That's exactly the same, and then the central bag, the centerpiece, sorry, is from the other bag. So we're going to put it together in much the same sort of way. We put the wing together first, and again we're just pushing that on together. It does make a slight, it does matter which side you put this on actually. I hadn't really noticed that the first time. I must have just done it straight off. And that is how we are. So you see the only difference really is that this side doesn't have those clips as the transporter does, and it has an extra hole for something, which is a extra sort of wing that goes in here. And again, you just push that in. Again, this is made from PVC rather than hard plastic for some reason, but it looks fine. That's one wing. We'll just do the same with the other very quickly. And again, that one is now done with just this final wing piece, and it's perfect, the 2 wings. And to be honest, we can actually even put them together onto the ship already, because we are now ready to go. But you'll notice this is here. So what's that for? We have a slightly different thing here. We have a small connecting piece, okay, which must go in here in that cross hatch. So we get a very small connecting piece for the weapons platform. So this is another PVC piece. It's quite heavy actually, and it just sits on top here. And pretty much that is now our Chroma. Very nice. Then you have these two weapons, and they each have a slightly different base. So underneath, they will only fit together on the right weapon. So they push in very nicely. Again, these are PVC, these pieces, rather than hard plastic. And there they are. Great, two weapons, two quite chunky weapons. And then you just push them on, and they actually sit on really nicely. You don't even really need to magnetize them. I think that's probably reasonable to magnetize them, but that's it. Pretty much that's it. So let's have a little look at them when they're finished together. And this is what they look like together. So here we have the transporter version. So we've put that one all together, and you see it's got a little flying base. Actually, like I say, it's more of a hover base. It's really quite low to the table, much lower than I first thought it was going to be. And then here is the Chroma, and this has got the heavy, super heavy plasma vortex on top. But if we wanted to change that, we can change it to the fission beamer, the super heavy fission beamer, and just swap that out there. But again, you can see it looks quite nice on that sort of hover base, very low to the ground actually. But they do look really nice. I like them a lot. So actually quite straightforward to put together. Hardly any cleaning up to do at all. Whether I'm going to paint them any well is a completely different question. But really nice. The only bits of tidying up really is clearing some mould lines off these bits here, and on the PVC bits there's a few small mould lines as well, but otherwise it goes together really nicely. And I don't even think I'll magnetise this, because these go together, certainly to start with, so neatly that I don't think you even need to. But yeah, a couple of very nice pieces of kit. Thanks very much for watching everyone. Please like, comment and subscribe. Listen out for Weight of Fire podcast, and check us out on the Weight of Fire Facebook page. Also, please check out Black Dragon Miniatures, our company affiliate, and please, if you want to buy Mantic models, then buy them from them.